Everyday products made with slave labor. Chocolate. Cocoa beans are harvested primarily on the Ivory Coast, where slave laborers, often children under 10 years old, are used to carry unimaginable loads on their backs to and from the fields. Many missing children claims are made in Mali, where it isn't uncommon for children to be abducted or even sold into the cocoa harvesting industry. Rubber. Liberia has become a leader in the rubber production industry, but there is a reason that rubber products are offered at exceedingly bargain prices. Former fighters from Liberia's destructive civil war own plantations and factories that produce rubber, whom have been using prisoners of war, hostages, and many children to forcibly work to produce rubber since 2006. Diamonds. Diamonds are produced by forced labor in 7 third-world countries around the world. Child laborers in diamond mines ingest tiny fragments of sand and stone, causing difficulty with breathing, which can lead to silicosis, a painful lung disease. Most often, children live in constant fear of being shot as they are watched by armed guards around the clock during their 8 to 10 hours of digging at 6 days a week. Coffee. Coffee is one of the most abundant products made through child slave labor. Currently, there are about 13 countries that use child labor to harvest coffee beans, including Colombia, Ivory Coast, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Guinea, Honduras, and the list goes on. Tobacco. It isn't uncommon to hear of families in Kazakhstan working for mere pennies during 13-hour days, while their children are forced to work in tobacco fields, risking rashes and cuts on their neck and stomachs from handling the plants. Many sources claim that out of a long list of tobacco companies, Marlboro is also behind these unethical practices. These slave labor plantations are run in Argentina, Brazil, Indonesia, Kenya, Lebanon, Uganda, Mexico, and the list goes on. Electronics. Famous companies like Apple and Foxconn, both of which have been approached to improve their working conditions, have reportedly barely made changes even close to being considered compliant. Foxconn is reported to have approved outrageous policies like humiliation of an employee if they misbehave, not allowing to sit on a stool comfortably, and not even receiving their overtime wages, where they can often reach 100 hours per week during a busy season. Pornography. There is an estimate of millions being sold into the production of pornography. Women of Thai, Filipina, Colombian, Dominican, and Nigerian descent are targets for the industry. Recently, women from the Soviet Union are being taken and exploited for this illegal trafficking. All of that free online amateur porn may mostly feature sex slaves, but you may never know, as it is the most difficult form of slavery to track. Shrimp. CP Foods supplies shrimp to several huge companies around the world, including Walmart and Costco, among others. CP Foods was discovered to be involved with dealers that employ slave labor in their fishing boats, often in chains and beaten for mediocre work. Carpet. Carpets are reported to be made by children or slaves in sweatshops throughout countries like India, Pakistan, and others in the Middle East. Children aged 4 to 14 are often kidnapped or sold into the carpet industry to work 18 hours a day weaving carpets that will be sold to export markets such as Europe and the US. Palm oil. Found in about 70% of all cosmetics and most processed foods, Malaysia and Indonesia are prime targets for finding forced labor among thousands of adults and children. Reports of young men being promised opportunities to work hard for at least minimum wage see only a trick in being forced to sign a contract that has them offered their service for years and only to be loaned money that they may or may not ever see. They are beaten if they ever try to leave.